Associate Professor of English Kerry Robertson. We are in the Sue Craven Stivers house and what is now being called the Brown Room for the inaugural recording of Lindsey Wilson Conversations in the Brown Room. The way this works is you get to discuss a topic of your choice while enjoying a beverage of your choice. The beverage you have chosen is hot tea, appropriately, and the subject is William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare lived from 1564 to 1616, almost 400 years after his death. Why are the works of William Shakespeare still relevant to us today?
Well, people always talk about themes, and he deals with themes like justice and love and honor and responsibility, and those are important. But I think he's more relevant because he picks up certain social issues that still matter to us, like war, and right now, since we're in the middle of a war, but also racism, religious intolerance. Those become central to his plays, and folks don't focus on that quite so much. And then he also has a lot to say about human relationships, and especially with sort of disrupted or broken families, or kids who fall in love with someone that the parent doesn't like and doesn't approve of, and how do the kids cope? How do the parents cope? How do they seek a resolution? And sometimes it turns out well, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's really accurate for nowadays.
Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, about 154 sonnets, also several long poems.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to be more familiar with his plays today than we do his poetry or his sonnets. Why is that?
Well, as I tell my students in my Shakespeare class, if all he ever wrote were the sonnets and the narrative poems, he would be considered a pretty good minor poet. It's the plays that really grab people's attention. That's where his artistry and his craft just really are showcased, is in the plays.
What is your favorite Shakespeare play?
Merchant of Venice. I did my master's thesis on that.
And why?
It's a play in which one of the central characters is a Jew at a time period when Jews were banned from England. And so Shakespeare sets the play in Venice, and he takes on the issue of racism. And there's so much viciousness in that play. Jewish characters were the equivalent of Satan at that time. And Shakespeare doesn't take that easy way out. He creates a real human being. And nobody else writing plays at that time with Jewish characters did that.
In the 400 years since Shakespeare's works have been published, there's been question over the authorship of his works. Did he actually write the plays that bear his name?
There have been folks down through the years who've said Shakespeare didn't write Shakespeare. And maybe it was Christopher Marlowe, maybe it was Francis Bacon, maybe it was Queen Elizabeth. And the person most often put forward is this Earl of Oxford. And he has websites all over the place, people dedicated to getting him credit. And those are folks who simply do not want to accept that someone from the middle class without a big fancy college education could be this skilled of a writer. The folks who back these other contenders, especially the Earl of Oxford, they're elitists. They just think that only someone from a high status family with lots of money could possibly pull this off. It's snob. I love the richness of the language. I love the complexity of the characters. And just that whole period of literature, the English Renaissance. These are folks for whom faith is central. I mean, it's an everyday part of their lives. The writers, the characters they write about. But it's not the, isn't it nice we're Christians kind of approach to religion. These are people who really struggle and who are having many more questions than they have answers. I think nowadays people think they have answers and they've run out of questions.
Associate Professor of English Kerry Robertson, thank you for joining us for Lindsey Wilson Conversations.
Bye, Mom. it.